Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're live. It looks like we're live. Let's wait. Okay, so now it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, and here we are. Let's get somebody else on here and see if we can get. Hey, Weeksart. Welcome to this stream. We had a bit of a trick getting it going. Trying something slightly new. And what I'm trying is, close that for a second. I'm trying to, hey Marijuana, I listened to your radio till about midnight, I guess, and then you disappeared. So I guess that was the end of Halifax, whatever the heck radio it was. So I'm trying to monitor this live in another window, and I'm not 100% sure that this is actually going to work the way I wanted it to. But let's see. Anderson, welcome to my live. I've not seen you before, but welcome. As soon as I figure out the technology here, I'll actually talk. So we've got ocean sounds, boat sounds, and cooking. So mainly let's turn this off so we don't get an echo there. How about if I just turn that off? Now I don't get the echo. That's good. Now I've lost my echo. I said it was going to put me to sleep, but it actually did put me to sleep, but then you were gone. Hey, Outdoors again. Welcome to my stream. So what we're looking at is cooking. And for the last year, I had called this thing Sail Whiskey Green, which is the name of my boat. And originally, it was supposed to be a channel about sailing in the Great Lakes. Turn up the volume on my mic. I don't know if I have the ability to do that. Let's give that a try. I think that's going to help any. Let's see. Can you hear me? I don't think I have the ability to change my volume. So I guess we're going to not. Hopefully I can be heard. Suddenly I've lost my there we are, my stream control panel. But I can't change my volume, so I guess I have to just talk louder, or get a little bit closer to the screen. What I did is for a year, actually since August, or the middle of the summer last year, when I decided to try to talk about sailing on YouTube. I call this thing Sail Whiskey Dream because it's sailing in a boat called Whiskey Dream. And I discovered that, let's turn this down a little bit here. I discovered that there's not, creatures, how are you? I discovered that there's not a huge audience for sailing in Lake Ontario as opposed to sailing in the Bermuda or sailing in the Bahamas. But my boat is my thing, and I want to continue with that. What happened is I ended up talking more about, or my channel was more about cooking on a boat and some of the interesting challenges that you face, like with water and washing things. DJ, hey, how are you? And economizing on fuel and on time, and the one pot thing because you don't have a lot of room for stuff. And I found that there was some interest in the cooking story. Yes, please like me. I'd love it if I was liked. Have anybody liked me yet? And then I'm analyzing why the uptake of some of this isn't where I had hoped it was going to be. And for those of you that follow Lashona, I've listened to what she had to say about her thoughts on a variety of things. And I decided I would change the name of my channel because, hey Jody, welcome to my show. If you're wondering, this is the former Sail Whiskey Dream is now Sailing Cook George, because I'm George and we're still talking about sailing and we're talking about cooking. So I'm hoping that the changing the name to something more cooking oriented, while still being true to the concept of cooking on a boat or sailing even if you're not cooking, because the purpose of going sailing is to go sailing. Cooking is an interesting pastime and an interesting necessity in some cases. So I'm hoping that changing the name is going to get more click-throughs on links that Google puts out on related videos and on suggested videos and in their feed, because for a good video I'll get 15,000 impressions. So it's been seen 15,000 times, yet I only get 200, 300, 400 views. So people aren't impressed. Either they're not impressed with my thumbnails. I think they're gorgeous thumbnails. They're not impressed with the title on the thumbnail. But I see some people putting no titles at all on their thumbnails. And then, because that's what YouTube Studio picked, for instance, so they haven't figured out how to change the thumbnail. My title in words isn't exciting. Or people see that it's from a channel called Sail Whiskey Dream and they can't figure out whether it's a guy that's drunk. Or, yeah, tell me, creatures, tell me. It is tough crap, but it's a challenge, and yeah, I got to look at this playlist thing. I mean, anybody's welcome to steal my playlist and link to it. The guy on Tuber Chat talks about sharing playlists as if it's something significant, or that there's a lot of technology or thought behind it. You're welcome to take my playlist and stick it on your channel if that is of any interest, and whether it'll bring people to you, I'm totally totally okay with that. So anyway, what I'm hoping is that changing the name to having the word cook in it is still is going to um, get some more uptake. Sailing, it's true to where I want to be with all of this. I added my name to the end of it because I'm worried that if this thing does take off, then somebody that has a channel called Sail and Cook is going to give me a hard time. So it's a little bit more personal than just Sail and Cook. And this particular stream is a screencast that is today's. It's my supper. I'm eating alone today. I'm eating alone at home, so I'm not cooking on the boat. That's not going to happen for another 3 weeks at the rate we're going. And I just recorded myself making Mongolian beef. I came across a recipe on TikTok that made me think about pictures of Mongolian beef that I took when I was doing photography for Uber and DoorDash. And on those projects, I'd end up with leftovers on a regular basis, and did a lot of Chinese restaurants. And Mongolian beef was tasty. Thanks, Marijuana. I'll check your site to see what that means, and see what if I understand what it is, and I'll come with one of my alter egos, which is this guy, GPS photo, a photo stream channel of mine. What I see when I come from there. So if you see GPS photo subscribing to you, it's just me. So what I did is I just slapped together a 11-minute video of me cooking Mongolian beef, and it was actually really good. The problem with cooking for photography, I found, was that there's a little bit of fiddling with things to make the pictures work. And you hear about food photography where you use motor oil instead of syrup on pancakes because syrup disappears and motor oil floats nicely on top and looks so pretty, and shaving cream instead of whipped cream because shaving cream retains its shape and texture for an hour while you're fiddling with the photography. And video of food preparation has its challenges as well, because it takes time to organize your camera, it takes time to organize the shot, it takes time to redo it because you didn't like the way that piece of meat didn't turn over properly. And while you're doing that, of course, the food gets overcooked or overdone or burnt, or loses some of its structural rigidity that you need if you're eating it in real life. Thanks, Jody. I appreciate that. Last watching your last live, I learned a little bit about your history with your marketing channel as well, and you try different things. I have another channel, a channel on art in Canada, that ran for years with no thought of anything for it, and it just grew marvelously by itself. It never got to the monetization stage, a thing called Canada Art Channel. The art galleries that I was working with had moved on to a different direction, and it's still there because some of the people that I interviewed are interesting people, and they have passed on. And some of the directors that I work with and producers that I work with and galleries I work with want sort of a permanent record for as long as it's possible of what some of the shows were. This is more. I'm more dedicated to figuring out how to actually make this work. while still having fun sailing and enjoying cooking and learning things from time to time as well. The 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 one thing when people film cooking for commercial purposes, it's not once and done. You'll cut that piece of meat 3 or 4 times until the angle is just right, and fry the potato 3 or 4 times. Um, I don't want to invest that much time in some of it. I do want it to be a little bit spontaneous, and I'm not Martha Stewart, and I'm not Meghan Markle, so it's it's not perfect, but maybe imperfect is okay as well, because it's aimed at a imperfect imperfect cooks. Kielbasa, the Polish sausage. Yes, I haven't figured out what to do with it, except kielbasa is a sausage, as I know it, that doesn't need a fridge. And one of the things in cooking on a boat, you either don't have a lot of fridge or you have no fridge. The current boat has a small fridge, Ukrainian sausage, somewhere in that part of Europe. And and so one of the things that's of interest is what ingredients can you use that don't require refrigeration. So things in cans works well. And I did there's a video on beans and wieners using canned Vienna sausages. Um, the video, the look of the video is good. The sausages look good. The if that's all you have, it's great. The texture of the sausage was a little bit underwhelming, and I did not eat the sausage part. I ate the beans. The beans were good, but the sausage was a bit underwhelming. The same with shrimp. Fresh shrimp is tastes amazing and has a nice texture when they're cooked. Canned shrimp also works, but so it's a different thing. Spam, I like spam. Always have liked spam, and I had lunch with a friend today, and he showed me this great spam and eggs recipe that I think was created as a promo for Hormel, the spam company. But the idea of spam and eggs might be another opportunity to produce that. Now, the spam is keeps forever, right? It's like Twinkies. If there's ever a nuclear blast, the spam will survive, according to Homer Simpson. But eggs need a fridge now. When I made that comment, somebody in Europe had commented on one video where we talked about eggs being fridges, said that they don't need fridges in Europe. And my understanding is that's because of the way we treat eggs in North America, in the States and in Canada, in that they are washed. Because eggs are like organic food, grown in manure. The chickens crap where they lay their eggs, and the crap, I think I can say crap on YouTube. This is not a Bait for Children channel. And apparently our health departments are not great fans of crap-covered eggs. So the Canadian eggs the American eggs do need refrigeration because the shells have been washed, and whatever natural protection shells provide is washed away by our approach to processing eggs. So It's there's a bunch of stuff, but the camping people have for a long time had freeze dried eggs, powdered eggs, and so I said to myself, I got to prepare a few recipes with powdered eggs. And where I live in the east end of Toronto. There's a chain of camping stores here that say they carry that, but not all of their store locations carry the powdered eggs. And it just dawned on me that I have to drive by there in the west end of the city tomorrow for another purpose, see if that works. Okay, so trying to pick up noodles with a spatula is a bit of a fail. I think I redid that then. Redid it better. So some things you can redo in video, sort of instant replay to overcome some of your screw ups. The yeah, kielbasa. I like that idea. There's some Eastern European heritage in my heritage, and over the years I've been subjected to every kind of meat that comes out of any part of Europe, I guess, except England. And why am I circling? I don't know why I'm circling. Who knows? The yeah. So the challenge is, can I make a more cooking focused channel that occasionally veers off and goes for sale and deals with some boat issues as out there. Yeah, I don't see myself circling anymore. I guess the internet is having its things here. I'm on Wi-Fi, not on data, so it should be working properly. So I'm down at the boat yesterday, the day before, and checking the batteries. And this boat has two. Okay, yeah, great marijuana. So this boat has two sets of batteries. Hey, drunken chef, welcome to my ramble about cooking and sailing. And today more cooking than sailing, except without checking the batteries. So there's two sets of batteries. One that the boat people refer to as the house batteries that run the lights and the fridge and the radios, and one that's for starting the engine. And theoretically, you keep them separate so that you can always start the engine. Everything else is optional. If you can't start the engine, you are in trouble. And I had last charged these batteries about 4 weeks ago, and I went out, and the one battery, the starting battery is 12.5 volts or something like that, and the other battery is 10 point something. So that's not a good sign. And now the batteries are probably 15 years old, and people will say, especially the people that sell batteries, will say you should replace them on occasion. The more often the better, because that's how they get paid. And I had started researching replacing the batteries. And they're deep cycle batteries, so they're probably $200 or $300 each. So it's not cheap. The it had just crossed my mind for no good reason at all that I should get a bottle of distilled water and check the level of water in these batteries. The one battery. Okay, have a good smoke. Talk to you later. The one battery is sealed, but the other two, the house batteries, the deep cycle batteries, can be opened. So I opened the holes, the fill holes, and lo and behold, they look dry as a bone. And I put 2 liters, maybe a little bit more than 2 liters of water into each battery. And at that point, I got the cells covered, and I turned on the charger, and I could see little specks of hydrogen gas, because when the battery's charging, it lets off hydrogen gas, and you can see the tiny bubbles. I'm not sure what that indicated to me, but it made me feel that the water was a good thing. And I'm going to let it sit for a little bit to see if the voltage level drops again, because if the plates were basically dry in these batteries, then that's as good a reason as any why they were losing their voltage. Now, the other thing, and I made a video of it, I'm going to post the video even though it's not about cooking, is I was really interested in whether there was current leakage. Pardon me. Theoretically, there's a switch that shuts off all of the batteries. So there should be no current leakage, but there is a couple of things. There's a radio, like a regular car radio. The car radios have, even when they're off, they draw a little bit of current to keep the memory alive. So I had disabled that last year in trying to find this phantom current leakage. Because if I need to tune a station again, I know what station I want to listen to. I don't need to remember what all my presets are or all my buttons are. So that isn't where the current was. But the other thing is that the previous owner of this boat was an electrical engineer, electronic genius for a telecommunications company. And he had, there's all kinds of weird electronics that are stuck in there that are related to solar panel charging. Because he had moored the boat for extended periods of time away from where he could plug it in, and oh, that looks good. It actually was good, just to drift off in a different direction. As I say, some things that I cook I'm not 100% happy with, because by the time you get around to eating it, it's been sitting for half an hour and it's been reheated 3 or 4 times and loses some of its flavor, undercooked, overcooked kind of thing. So anyway, so I go back to the battery. So I've got to look at this, all of the charging circuits for the solar system to see if any of them are leaking current into something. And I'm a little bit worried that I don't understand everything that he did. And I don't want to have to undo stuff that you've done, and then some of it's hard to reach and hard to get at. But yeah, keeping the batteries alive is important, because without batteries you can't start. The engine on this boat is a Yanmar 2GM, so it has it's a 2-cylinder engine, 20 horse. It's not big as far as boat motors go, but it's enough to drive the boat. And it has a connection for a hand crank. The previous Yanmar that I had, the boat came with the hand crank. Never used it, but it was there. This one came without the hand crank. Either the previous owner lost it, or it was never delivered when the boat was originally sold the first time. And I need to see if I can get a hold of a battery to see if I can start the thing. Sorry, get a hold of the crank to see if I can start the thing if the batteries are dead, just in case. One day you're out drifting in the middle of the lake and your battery's dead because you forgot to turn something off. The one other thing. So this cooking exercise was was uh, to give myself a cooking video. It's going to have to get edited properly, and I see here and what I've got is some of the shots of the spatula gets in the way of the camera, and it has to look prettier than that, even though I'm looking for a little bit non highly edited look, because they're not trying to compete with Megan Markle and Martha Stewart or the Iron Chef, but I do want people to believe that the recipes work and that they will taste good. I've lost my shirt. I'm going to just go and find myself a shirt. I'm getting cold here, so I'll be right back. Don't go away. Need me running in the background. I need the hours. And we're back. And we are back. Yeah, I was getting cold. It was heavy. It's supposed to be going down to 0 Celsius, 32 tonight. So summer is not... Summer's not yet here, but it's coming, And in addition to checking the batteries, that I have to do an oil change and add some antifreeze to it. I noticed that the overflow tank was getting a little bit low. And want to change some of the cabinetry as well. A little bit of carpentry to provide a bit more storage on board. The other thing we want to do this year is change the way the sails are put away when at the end of the day with a lazy jack system that sort of automatically bunches up the sail instead of having to go forward and crawl around on the deck and tie things down. So a couple summer projects. And the other thing, I just got the email from the marina about the Wi-Fi. So do want to see if there's enough Wi-Fi power to do streaming there from the back of the boat in the summer, and that's good. Stream some live cooking. The streaming live sailing is probably a little bit of a challenge. I think it's worth a try. Mount the camera, or mount the phone with the back of the boat pointing forward, and let it record. Managing that and managing the chat and keeping track of the boat is probably, it may be more of a challenge than I'm capable of. You know, they talk about distracted driving. Fiddling with your phone while you're driving, so not the immediacy of the water, because there aren't that many things around you. It's not like being on a highway with cars on either side, and two in front and two in back. And, although it's people have, I know people have run into each other. You'd think the lake was big enough that they wouldn't run into each other, but they've managed to do that anyway. I think I've probably had close calls to some extent in terms of not road rage, but in terms of right of way, claiming right of way. I know that I'm right, so you have to move. But what if you don't move? What do they say? You can be dead and being right. So that's something to think about. The marijuana, if you're still here, I do kind of like the radio concept of streaming. Because I was listening to your Halifax weather yesterday. But you're not in Halifax. I think you're in Saskatchewan. And so one possibility is just streaming the radio channel 9 or channel 16. Yeah, there's a weather channel on both VHF radios as well. I never listen to it because it's too generic. It made sense 40 years ago to have a sort of a centralized marine radio talking about the wind and the waves. With smartphones and places like the Windfinder and Sailfast, I think is the app that I like, that interpret the weather information from whoever they get it and interpret it in a way that makes sense a sailor or a windsurfer, basically the hard man, is much more useful than listening to a centralized weather forecast on the VHF. Um, Now, if you're a Great Lakes ship going through the Georgian Bay, um, then maybe that's enough to know generally if it's going to rain at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I think even a laker wants to know um, what the wind angle is and the wind speeds almost up to the minute where they are, as opposed to generally in the afternoon it's going to be 13 knots from the northwest. So it's I don't think we've listened to the weather radio except to verify that the radio works in ever. We have 2 radios on the boat. The one is a mounted VHF it's got an antenna at the top of the mast, and it outputs 5 watts. 5 watts? 15 watts. And then we've got a handheld that is lower powered, but it's more convenient because you can walk around with it. And it's kind of sad that we don't have West Marine in Canada anymore. They were here for a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years. I guess tried to make a market in Canada, and then they disappeared. I think there's one location in Toronto. I thought there was one location in Vancouver, and they had some private label stuff like that Marine radio that I'm talking about, handheld radio. It says West Marine on it, and they didn't make it. It came out of China somewhere, but it's a pretty good radio. So the stuff that West Marine sells is good stuff. And when they closed up the bricks and mortar locations here, they also stopped accepting orders online for shipment into Canada. They didn't want to deal with it for whatever reason. And this was long before we got into tariffs and all those other challenges that we're facing now. They just decided that the market wasn't big enough to be worth the effort. So it's one of the things that changes. So the cooking is hopefully this will create a little bit of let's see, a little bit of excitement in the internet. I'm curious what no new subscribers today. That's sad. That is so sad. Got to get subscribers. How many new watch hours? Is the PC version of this analytics doesn't show the watch hours in the same way. Yeah, maybe it does. If I just click on here, watch hours in 28 days, 114. So at that rate, we'll never make 4,000. Let's just show them. Hey, Willies, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for hanging out. I like your scenery, and I like some of the music that you play in the background. And I've always been a fan of Waylon and Willie. For all kinds of other reasons. So it's good music. I don't understand how copyright works, because you're playing copyrighted music, and I listen to Joji the Guapa girl playing music, and people doing karaoke, and I thought YouTube did not allow music, copyrighted music. So You live and learn. You figure it out and come up with a way of taking advantage of it. The thing about music channels that I like, because I've left you on, Willie, for hours. I've left Traveler in the Chernobyl exclusion zone on for hours. I've left Sunnyside, my left Sunnyside Up on for hours because they're doing music that I like. Um, and so you get a lot of watch hours. You don't get there's no talking, so there's no community, there's no dialogue, but they're all doing unique music that ends up being like a radio in the background. The I see what you're saying there, Willie, but when you hit the monetized level, suddenly doesn't your whole model then break down because now you're you're doing this for the monetization, and suddenly you can't keep doing what you're doing. But the other people are doing. I was listening to somebody yesterday, Spanish channel, Spanish language channel, might have been out of Europe, and again I listened to her for a couple of hours. This was beautiful singing. It was Spanish. Didn't understand a word, but I was okay with that. I've listened to a couple of, I believe they're Chinese channels as well, that are Chinese music, and you can listen for hours. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm only in it for the money. Gotta get Google to pay me. Must make a dollar. Must make a dollar. The while still doing something that I find interesting. I keep watching these TikToks on how to make $1 zillion with AI-driven YouTube channels, and getting monetized in 9 days, and on shorts. And shorts are it's 10 million views in 3 months. So that's a huge audience that has to be fed. But I don't. They're all just trying to sell courses. They're trying to sell websites that do AI. Yeah, well, his retirement. That's interesting. It's interesting to look at what we're doing. And there's Lashona. So I was talking about you earlier, that we're trying to figure out how to make this thing grow. And if you notice that now we're called Sailing Cook George, not Sail Whiskey Dream, because I'm talking more about cooking than sailing. I think there's more of an audience for cooking than sailing. But the name Sail Whiskey Dream made less sense. It sounded like a guy that was drunk all the time. I guess if somebody who came by, he calls himself Drunken Chef. So being drunk is possibly not a bad thing, especially if you're talking about sailing and cooking on a sailboat. But so we're trying something new. We'll see if it does any good. I'm happy with the audience that has dropped by this evening. Some are people that thank you. That are people I've met before. Some of them are people that I've never met. We'll track them down when this is all over, and subscribe to their channels. So, well, thanks. I was worried about the naming thing, and here, what I've got now, I'm still talking about sailing, because in the end, the my the reason for doing it is I grew I love boats, I like boats, and I don't mind cooking on the boat. And I thought that sharing some of these ideas or learning how to do some things that you might cook on a boat and then try out the recipe and make it make sense. So anyway, thanks for coming back. I do appreciate that. Now I just got to talk you into figuring out how to leave me running for an hour in the background. And the thing about people on phones is that you can't really have two streams going. Whereas on my computer, I'll have 4 or 5 streams going on a regular basis. And as I said earlier, I listen to a few music channels. And some of these are 24-hour streamings, and some of them are just a couple hour streamings. But I'll turn on a music channel and let it play in the background. Almost as background noise, and also because I'm supporting the creator. But on a computer, I can have four streams going and let them run for an hour. Thanks, Rose. I do think the boat part is cool, although some people say no. But on a computer, you can easily leave multiple streams going. On a phone, phones don't multitask. At least I haven't figured out how to multitask on my phone. So. What's interesting is that TikTok was made for phones, and YouTube, of course, was invented in the days before everybody had a phone. And they invented Shorts only to take on YouTube and Instagram to some extent, and try to steal their audience or retain their audience instead of letting their audience wander off to TikTok and Instagram. And so many things work better on a computer with YouTube than on a phone, except for 2 things. One is you can change a thumbnail on a short on a phone, and you can't change it on a computer. But you can change a thumbnail on a long video, but you can't change it on a phone. And the analytics give you different numbers. They're the same numbers, but they present them in different ways, some of which make more sense than others. And it's almost, I look at my analytics on my phone, and then I look at them on the computer, and I find interesting tidbits of information. For instance, I started being interested in were people watching me on a phone. So I did 2 videos, the mango slicing one and maybe the mango salad. I'd have to look now. I can't look while I'm talking. I can't. And I recorded them vertical. Not necessarily on a phone, but I edited them to be vertical as if they're shot on a phone. And I was looking to see whether they would then get huge followings from phone people. So typically I'll get 40% of my viewers are on a phone, and 60% are on a computer. I guess 5% are on a television. But most are on a computer. And the verticals, they did have a bigger proportion of people watching on a mobile. Now, is it a bigger, the total audience was less than some other videos? Is it because nobody really gets excited about the thought concept of slicing mangoes? And therefore the total viewership is down, but the proportion of people that are coming in on a phone is much higher. If you're scrolling through videos on a phone, marijuana, I noticed he mentioned something that on this one I've got my little icon of me at the top because he had said he couldn't see me, whereas on my phone, I could see myself even though I was at the bottom, but the bottom of the screen is cut off. with some of the text stuff and metadata and the chat. So all you really see, even on the phone, is the top half of the vertical video. So then the question becomes, what's the point of a vertical video if you don't see the whole glory of its verticalness? I don't have the answer for that yet. That the most of my watching is on a computer, and it's two monitors, huge monitors, 34-inch monitors, 32-inch monitors, so I can have like 5 or 6 things open. But when I'm down on the beach, I will watch YouTube, my stuff, and other people on a phone, and there's interesting what you're saying, Rishwana. So, and there's watch time for longs, not watch time for shorts, because those videos, that Mango video is 4 minutes. I intentionally made it longer than 3. If the total watch time is longer, then yeah, when we get back to the monetization at all costs, then I'm better off making everything vertical. It's tolerable on a computer. I mean, I watch everybody's lives. 90% of people's lives are on a phone. There's very few that are doing full screen. Some of the StreamYard, the people that are doing multiple people on screen, I've never seen what that looks like on a phone. But if the statistic is that you get more watch hours for a vertical video of the same topic than for a horizontal video of the same thing, then you might as well do verticals. The little bit less screen real estate, so editing is a little bit more of an art, but that's worth analyzing. If your people are watching it on the television, now, as I say, I only get 5% of the people watching anything on a TV, so they're not a huge audience anyway. I can't visualize watching. I've got my 60-inch TV in the living room, my 60-inch TV in the living room. I can't visualize watching a video that is 1/4 of the screen with the rest of the screen black. On a computer, I can deal with it because I can just move other stuff on top of it so that I'm not wasting all that success. Yeah, listen, I'm not talking about shorts. I'm talking about vertical videos that are longer than 3 minutes. So my Mango video is 4 minutes, I think, 5 minutes, and therefore it's not a short. It's the Mango video is 4 minutes. The Thai mango salad is 6 minutes. So we're not talking about shorts. We're talking about what YouTube treats as a long video in a vertical format, because a lot of the world watches stuff on a phone. My kids watch everything on a phone. So that audience doesn't own a computer. I guess they own a computer. Yeah, so I'm saying it's a long form, but in a vertical format. Is that the key to success? Because people that are watching that on a phone, it's going to fill the screen better and be a better experience than watching a normal horizontal video where you have to click the little full screen icon and then turn your phone sideways. And that's interesting. So that's interesting information. Time will tell. So as I said, I've got 2 there. I even thought I would take the same content and publish it 2 ways. So it's not exactly 100% the same video, but it's me talking about slicing mangoes, and when you're watching the horizontal video, you're going to see different stuff than if you're watching it on the vertical video. I guess the other interesting thing is it better to be live on a phone than on a computer? The the phone is a bad thing, is a bad tool for interacting with the chat, interacting with the management of your stream, because it doesn't all fit on the screen. Whereas on the computer, right now I'm watching myself on two channels, and I'm watching my control panel, and it's all nicely spread out over all of the screens. Yet my stream is going out vertical from a phone, because the phone, I don't know why because of the phone. I could probably stream vertically off of my computer as well. That's worth a try to see. I'm not sure there's a lot of point to it. If it was a sitting and talking head and shoulders, the phone was as good as the computer. The screencast thing, I think, works better on a computer, because you can choose what you want to blast out. Okay, Lashona, thanks for dropping by. I'll go look at your that one, Lashona. I'll check that out. Yeah, the objective is to create something that people will want to watch, and if Google will pay at the same time, then I can quit my day job. Anyway, we've had an hour of fun. Let's see what YouTube thinks of this. I do appreciate everybody that dropped by. I will go check the Rashona's thing. I promised a few other people I'd check a few things. I will. Oh yes, I was going to go back to Marijuana's playlist to see how that worked, and I am going to, I guess, edit that video. So thank you very much for watching. Well, we got 5 watchers, so let's keep it going for a few more minutes, just in case we come into a. Yeah, Willie, thanks for dropping in. I will drop by you when the next opportunity arises. As I say, on the computer, I can watch 3 lives or 4 lives, pick the one I want to listen to, interact with as many as I want, network with people on them as I want. It's an interesting undertaking. I am going to pull the plug on this. I thank you very much. Good night, all. Good night, all. Thanks for coming. Aloha. Why don't I say aloha? I was actually going to say ahoy, but aloha. I guess it was both hello and goodbye. Thank you. That's all she wrote. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this off. Click that.